I'm going to zoom in closer to that for you in just a second, but I first want to show you here what we've got going on. We've been tracking some very heavy rain, thunder and lightning that has been moving through our area, and now we're seeing some signatures on radar indicating some straight line winds, strong straight line winds possible between 40 and 60 miles an hour in this area of Gwinnett County, moving into parts of Barrow County and a little bit of Jackson County as well. You can see the core of the center of the system right here has just moved through Lawrenceville. It is pushing up toward the north and east here in the eastern parts of Gwinnett County, into parts of Barrow County, and just a little part of Jackson County right here. We have some really heavy rain there, and as I mentioned, we have some winds that are around 40 to 60 miles an hour. Now, we're not seeing any type of circulation or anything with this system, but we just have some really strong winds in association with that, and that's why the National Weather Service has issued this severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be in effect for those areas of Barrow County, Gwinnett, Jackson, and also Walton County. As you can see, it's just a really small part of Jackson County right here in the southern parts of Jackson, and also just this little part of far northern parts of Walton County. But it does include a big part of Gwinnett right here, especially from Lawrenceville over to the east, and then a big part of Barrow County, including Bethlehem, Winder, up toward Auburn, where we have this severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect, with the very heavy rain, winds of 40 to 60 miles an hour there, and just some really strong winds with that. And the signatures on radar are indicating mainly straight line winds, not like any rotation there. But when you 40 to 60 mile an hour winds with that could be some strong winds that could still even bring down some trees. So that is what we're watching right now with this severe thunderstorm warning for those parts of Barrow, Gwinnett, Jackson, and Walton County. Now, as I widen out just a little bit, you see here that is just a little part of the bigger system that is causing a lot of rain over North Gwinnett. It comes back. It's kind of trying to taper off a little bit over in parts of western Gwinnett County. DeKalb County still getting in on some of that moderate to heavy rain, but it's not as strong as it is over here now. And some of this extending into Walton County. Remember, there's just a little part of Walton County included in that severe thunderstorm warning, but we still have some really heavy rain in the rest of Walton County, moving down toward Newton County with thunder and lightning there along I-20. And I'm going to put this into motion, and you'll be able to see here what we're talking about with how this storm has kind of been coming together. We've been tracking some of these storms. This is a loop from just 1 hour. I'm going to give you a 2-hour loop there so we can get a better look at kind of how this has all been getting together here, where we had some of these showers and storms pushing through the Atlanta area and down to the south of us. They were getting stronger in parts of Henry County, Newton County, and Rockdale County. Had some really heavy rain that came through Conyers a little bit earlier. But then up to the north and east of that, it really kind of started intensifying just a little bit more there, where we have that severe thunderstorm warning right now in central Gwinnett County, South Gwinnett, and now pushing into eastern Gwinnett and over into Barrow County, where we have that heaviest of the rain that is coming down right now in those spots there. Again, mainly Gwinnett County and Barrow County, but parts of Walton County and parts of Jackson County as well. And that's going to keep moving up generally to the north and east. They've been trending more northeasterly, pushing up into that direction there. Along 85, really 85 has been getting really heavy rain there. The 985 corridor starting to get some of that heavier rain. We also have some really heavy rain on this part of 85. That's been moving along Highway 316 as well as Highway 78 between Athens and Lawrenceville. And that's going to keep pushing up into areas of Jackson County. There's just a little bit of Jackson County included in that warning right now. We're going to see how this holds together, though, as it keeps moving up toward the north into parts of Jackson County, excuse me, to see if any other parts of Jackson will be included in that severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to get back in a little bit tighter here and go back to live mode. I want to do a query of the lightning, because we also have a lot of lightning with this too. And this is going to be this red box you see that goes really from Canton 575 down toward Covington, Madison, Athens, Commerce, including Lawrenceville, Monroe. So we've got about 79 lightning strikes in a 15-minute period. That's a lot of lightning in that small red box, but it's not like crazy numbers of lightning. But just know that most of that is concentrated right here around that warning. In fact, let me do another count for you. So this is the, I guess, a bigger red box that you see that includes all those areas. I'm actually going to do another query and just concentrate just on where we have pretty much that warning, pretty much inside and then surrounding that warning, that yellow polygon, and it's got 67. So really we were just counting some additional lightning strikes down here. Most of this lightning is concentrated in and around that severe thunderstorm warning there coming out of Lawrenceville, and that really heavy rain that is pushing into those areas of Barrow County. So this leading edge right here, where you see it's already moved through Winder, it's already moved through Bethlehem, it's already moved through Campton. That's going to be getting closer to Statham here in just a moment, and then maybe pushing up toward Brazelton. If that holds together, it could make it into Jefferson in just a little while. But this leading edge is just some really cold, heavy rain, as well as some strong winds where you go from green to yellow to orange to red in just that little short period of time. We've got some really strong wind along with that. And again, back here in Sugar Hill and up around the Buford area, you're outside of the polygon. You're not included in this severe thunderstorm warning, but it is still some really heavy rain coming down there. You've got some strong winds with that too, but just most likely not the 50 to 60 mile an hour potential straight line winds like we're seeing in this area right here, continuing to move up toward the north and also to the east. I'm going to put this back up here for you again, just so that we can double check this expiration time. 9:15 is the expiration time of this. So it's going to be interesting to see if the National Weather Service is going to extend that warning as we're seeing that leading edge of the heavy rain get closer here to Jackson County, and if they're going to extend it up more to that direction, or if they are able to determine whether or not there's any weakening with that too. And speaking of that, let me, I'm on chat right here with the National Weather Service, and let me see if they have any new information here. What we're watching is they're saying also that storms could fill in a line between Macon and Macon and Athens, which is kind of what we're seeing. Okay, so with some outflow boundaries, and this kind of gets into some meteorology stuff here. We have these storms in Macon and down toward Eastman and Dublin there in Lawrence County. This all may kind of fill together possibly, and with some outflow boundaries, and make one long line as it moves up toward the north and east. We're really watching this cluster here, a little bit of that in Social Circle, all these near and just to the south and east of Macon, where we could see this fill into a line with some of those outflow boundaries. Another bit of heavy rain and storms over in Washington, Georgia, near the South Carolina line. That is not classified as a severe storm either. So pretty active weather out there for tonight. As we're watching these storms move up toward the north and also to the east. I'll bring this out wider just to give you some perspective here of what we're watching as this area. Again, we had some good rain around the city. I'm going to show you the airport camera in just a moment. They have 75-minute departure delays right now at Hartsfield-Jackson because these storms came through Hartsfield. Very heavy rain and thunderstorms came through, and that caused some delays there. Even though the rain is kind of coming okay, let me see. We just got some new information here on that. The Weather Service is saying the severe warm storm is still looking healthy. We're considering an additional warning for parts of Jackson and Hall counties. They're going to be deciding that in the next 3 minutes. So if you're in Jackson County and also into Hall County, they may be extending the warning into your area, but whether or not they do or they don't, I want you guys just to be prepared that leading edge is coming your way with the heavy rain coming in, some strong winds. Whether or not those winds have come down a little bit from the initial warning, we're going to know that within the next 3 to 5 minutes. So they may issue a new warning to include parts of Hall County and also into Jackson County a little bit as that keeps moving up toward the north. So that's what we should be seeing potentially with a new, I'm going to take the lightning off, with a new warning showing up here in a polygon in just a moment. But again, severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings with this. But what I want to stress to you is that a lot of people get caught up and just say, oh, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning. If you'll recall on Saturday, we had a big time weather event come through, and we had some straight line winds with that storm on Saturday that had some winds of about 95 miles an hour. Now, if you'll also recall, in previous weeks, we have had some EF0 tornadoes that caused damage that had winds of 75 miles an hour. some EF1s that were around 80 and 85. So imagine winds at 95 miles an hour, stronger than an EF0 or an EF1, but it's just not a rotating storm. It is still a strong storm, but with straight line winds instead of rotating winds. So I don't want you guys to think that, oh, it's not a tornado warning, so we don't need to worry about it, because you can have severe thunderstorm warnings with straight line winds that could do just as much damage as an EF0, an EF1, or maybe even at times an EF2 tornado. It's just the damage spread would just be a little bit different there. But straight line winds can cause a lot of damage. So I don't want to, you to think, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, because this is a severe thunderstorm warning with some strong straight line winds that right now we're thinking be between 40 and 60 miles an hour. So what we're waiting to see is if the National Weather Service is saying that this storm is still a healthy storm. It's supposed to expire in about 10 minutes, 11 minutes. But what we're seeing is the leading edge of this storm is now about to move out of this polygon. And they're saying they're considering possibly extending this, and we should know, and if we see this, we'll see a new yellow polygon showing up right here. If they're going to extend it, we'll see that polygon extend maybe up into parts of Jackson County, possibly into parts of Hall County here in just a moment. So that's what we're waiting for right now, as again, this storm's still holding together pretty well. The heavy, heavy rain is really coming down right now. In fact, I'm going to show you, let me put this right now as we're watching for that polygon possibly to change here, at the rain totals. And this is going to take a second to populate here in just a moment. I believe it'll show up in just a second here. Okay, I don't know why that's not. There we go. And there you can see right there near Lawrenceville, Old Norcross Road, McKendree Church Road, where we have that red right there, right along, that's Duluth High right there, 2.5 inches of rain as estimated by radar. Okay, we just got this new warning in. We take the lightning off so you can see it, but that's in that part. Okay, this pretty much goes with what I was just showing you a few moments ago, where we were thinking that this warning would be issued for, and I'm going to put this up for you so you can see these areas that we're talking about right here, now including Barrow, Hall, and Jackson County. Another part of Barrow right here. So this is the original warning right here. You see this yellow polygon right there? That's the original warning that was issued for Gwinnett, Barrow, parts of Jackson County right here, and parts of Walton County right there. And I was just showing you how the leading edge of those storms is about to move out of the polygon, and that the Weather Service was considering issuing a new polygon, a new warning, which they just did for now Jackson County, this part of Jackson going up to almost to Commerce, a little bit of Hall County right there on the eastern parts of Hall, right at the Hall and Jackson County line. And then also still much of Barrow County right in here where the original warning was and where those storms are still coming down right now. So now this is a new one. This one will be in effect until 9:30. So this one expires in just a little bit at 9:15, but now we have a new one for, again, parts of Barrow, a little bit of Hall, and a lot more of Jackson County with, again, 60-mile-an-hour winds are the main threats with this system right here. So that would now include Jefferson, you're in the warning, Talmo is in the warning, Gillsville just outside of the warning here, Commerce just outside of the warning right up here, Nicholson, it stops pretty much at you, Brazelton is in this warning too, they're right along 85, is pretty much in the center of that warning area for the severe thunderstorm warning pushing through. I want to check the speed of this, moving northeast at 25 miles an hour. So I'm going to put a track on this, and you can see these areas at that main leading edge right there, moving up to the northeast at 25. Let me just double check that speed. Yes, 25 miles an hour. So that's taking it into Sells at 9:10, which is pretty much in a minute and a half. All right, I keep looking back at the clock over here. Sells at 9:10, which is right here, that leading edge going through there. Holders at 9:27 into Dry Pond at 9:38. If you're familiar with going up 85, the Dry Pond exit there before you get to Commerce is where that's talking about. If it does make it to Commerce, if it holds together there into Commerce, it would be at 9:52. Maysville going backwards a little bit at 9:47, and then to Homer at 10:03. Homer and Commerce, you're outside of the polygon, but we'll again watch to see if maybe they'll extend it even more. Now what's happening is we are now losing the heating of the day. The sun is down, but it's still hot out there. But you know, the heat, the warmth kind of fuels these storms. So we think that during the evening hours, now that the sun is going down, we're going to see some maybe some weakening within the storm as it keeps moving up toward the north and the east. But I want you to be prepared for a lot of rain out of this and some lightning as it continues to move up toward the north. Hold on, y'all ignore that last one that just showed up here. I was trying to move the map. There we go. So what happened is I just moved the map and you saw those colors change a little bit because as I moved up a little bit more to the north, it started picking up the Greenville-Spartanburg radar. But this is the Peachtree City radar for our National Weather Service down here. So that's why that red kind of filled in a little bit more, because this is a better vantage point from the Peachtree City radar rather than the Greenville one, where we still see the heavy rain in Gwinnett, right there, that heaviest part right here in Barrow County, that is about to move into Jackson County, where we have this severe thunderstorm warning. Now, let's take another look at lightning. If you'll recall, just a few moments ago when I did a query on this, I do believe that in the smaller box that we did, that we showed, just showing the warning area, it was around 60-something lightning strikes. Now it's 87. So that's actually gone up a little bit. We've seen this still showing some good lightning with it too. So we don't really see much in the form of weakening with this storm. I know we're including some of this. Well, I think we included that last time too, the lightning in and around that warning area. So that lightning count has actually gone up a little bit from the count that I showed you a little while ago. So we're not really seeing any big time changes or big time indicators of weakening with this. That lightning count is still pretty healthy even within that small red box for those storms there. Let's widen out though, put this into motion, and it's almost like we started seeing a couple of these individual cells, some that came through North Atlanta, and then we had some over to the east side, almost like this line was coming together there. And we can still see this line come together with all this activity in Macon as it keeps moving up toward the Athens area. So just something that we're watching there. Additional scattered showers elsewhere. We have some of these in the southern parts of Fannin County, right on the Gilmer line, and also there at the Lumpkin County line. And Dawson County had some good rain there. We got a couple of spotty showers in northwest Georgia, some of these right along Interstate 59 over into Alabama. Not much on the south side. We've already had some good rain come through the south side, so things there should be stabilizing a little bit with some rain cooled air. But now we just have all of this moving up toward the north and also to the east. Here in Atlanta, we had heavy rain here just a little while ago. Some of those showers and storms are still, or showers are just lingering, but they're a little bit lighter now than they were just a little while ago. And then here's the action now that came through Lawrenceville a little bit ago. Now that main part is in Barrow County, pushing into Jackson County, where we have those severe thunderstorm warnings. And then even though these spots south of that warning are not in the warning, this is still some really heavy rain in Walton County from Monroe, pushing down towards Social Circle, right there along I-20. Most of that north of I-20. South of I-20, we have a couple little spots there, one around Monticello with some pockets of heavy rain. There's a lone lightning strike down there south of I-22, but the main part of that pushing up toward the north and to the east. On the west side, we had some good rain over at Dallas with the red that was showing up there. That is showing signs of weakening, now more of the yellows and orange colors, so that's not as strong as it was. We had some lightning up around Dallas a little while ago too, and no new lightning strikes with that. Elsewhere around North Georgia, again, there's that one just north of Juneau. We've got all of this with the warning there. Gainesville, you're just outside of the polygon. You're not included in that warning, but you still have some heavy rain there, pretty much right along Lake Lanier, so some really heavy rain there. And here's that break that I'm talking about on the south side, where there's not as much going on. The air has stabilized there because they had some good rain earlier and it's cooled off. Now we've got a couple of showers around Upson County, some of these coming in to southern parts of Meriwether County in just a little bit there, not too far off from Callaway Gardens and also Pine Mountain. So we're just going to watch these move on through. Once these push up toward the north and east, they're going to either be weakening or they'll push up into South Carolina if they hold together. But we do think that should weaken somewhat and things are going to be quieter during the overnight hours. But we really don't see any big time changes in our forecast going through the next few days here, as the entire southeast just is covered up with plenty of moisture, plenty of heat. And what we see here is plenty of moisture that comes in here. Okay, I think I just got an update. Plenty of moisture that we have and plenty of heating, and that just bubbles up those showers and storms here as they move on through. Let me see if we have a new one. Yeah, no big updates, but let me see what this warning, the latest warning, just some of the wording that they said there in the last warning. So they are saying a special weather statement now for Forsyth, Lumpkin, Dawson, and Central Hall counties through 9:45. So those are the counties surrounding that warning. So we'll see if that rain and that storm is actually showing signs of weakening there as it continues moving up. But so far, the one warning expiring at 9:15, and now this other warning still in effect until 9:30. And I'm going to get back to that for you here. In fact, let me go ahead and get there for you so we can see these areas that we're talking about here, where you're about to see, let me take the lightning data off. You're about to see this part of the polygon disappear because we're at 9:15 right now. We're just waiting for it to kind of come through our system here, but that's going to disappear. And this still is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning. And then they are issuing what they call a special weather statement for the counties around that, where it's not as strong as it is right here, but still in these areas and parts of Hall County and kind of the surrounding counties there.